I'm Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Forensic Gameology, hosted by ForensicGameology.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less.
Kreus. Or Kreus.
It's Kreus.
So Zeus. Kreus.
I guess.
Oh, I say Kreus.
How do the Greeks say Zeus? Do they say Zeus or Zeus?
I have no idea.
The Portuguese say Deus. That's why I say it. Or at least
I don't know.
the Brazilians say it. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Kreus. So, a cooperative game in which you are trying to get the planet out. In order to do that, you've got to get all of these other nature cards out.
Mm-hmm.
And so the nature card, atmosphere, comet, wind, mountain, river, and so on. There's 4 more. And then the planet. All while not talking. Okay? So what you need to do is put out these nature cards and then put out element cards, so different colors. There's 4 different colors that match, or that each card needs 2 or 3 of. And in order to play the next element, or the next nature card, you have to have so many completed. So like the bird has to have an orange, green, and pink in order to be able to put out the planet. Right, this is the 3rd age card. And so this is one that you have to have completed in order to put the planet. And it is such a tight game that you have to do it all, well, for one, while not talking, like I said. And then also you have to plan out which ones. You can't afford to put out too many nature cards. So, I mean, that's getting a little bit of strategy. So what you're going to do is all pick a card simultaneously, and then whoever's the first player for the round plays theirs first, and you go around the table, and bad things will happen, like you won't be able to play the card because someone else will, because you can't talk. So you're just trying to play cards, so nature and element cards, so that you can get the planet out with 4 nature cards, or 4 element cards on the planet. That's how you win the game. Simplicity versus complexity.
I think this is kind of a complex game. The communication you're allowed to do is show somebody a card if you spend one of these energy tokens. If you spend 2 of them, you can swap cards, but you don't get to say which card you're swapping. I just put it face down and slide it to you, and you put yours face down and slide it to me. With 3 of them, you can get a card back from the discard pile. But there's a lot of things to balance in this game without much information. And you know, knowing how many of these tokens to take at the beginning of the game, knowing what bad cards you'll play and win, because those you can't play on the first or last turn of the game or you lose. And so it's essentially saying you're going to play them when they're going to hit you the hardest, and you have to try to mitigate that and make sure that doesn't happen. We've won this game, but I think we only won it once. And there's just so much, besides it being a complex game, I think it's a difficult game in part because of the complexity.
Yeah, there's a lot. I say a lot going on. There's not too much going on, but this tree that tells you how to build everything is a little bit complicated, because the first age, element, you can just play natures. The second ones, you have to have 1 of those, and the third ones, you have to have at least 2 of the second age cards in order to play, and you've got to figure out how to do that. So that's a little bit complicated, and you have the right colors, and you can use the element or nature cards as element wilds if you can't play it, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot going on, and you can show powers, and there's expansions. So it's complex, but I would say it's not uber complex that you wouldn't get it after the first play. And then you'd be like, oh, that's how I play. Luck versus strategy.
The balance in this game, I think, leans more towards strategy. There are the elements of luck in that this is a randomized hand of cards I'm dealt, but because of these energy tokens that I get at the beginning of the game, I can show my teammates my cards, I can trade cards with people and try to make the best opportunities. And after playing several times, it's definitely easy to see which strategy I should pursue, although that can be up for debate with the other people I'm playing with, so maybe it's not that easy to see. But for me, because I have my cards, I can tell. Point I'm making is that it is biased towards strategy more so than luck.
I would agree. You have all the cards that you have in the whole deck in the beginning, right? So there's not any drawing. Everyone has all the cards they have. And sometimes there is a tiny bit of element of luck. Like I played pink and you played green, and so we perfectly did it. We both didn't play greens. But, I mean, then again, you can use this to say, I'm playing pink. And think, I definitely won't play pink then. And so you can mitigate it. And there's also the strategy of which of these are you going to play. You can only afford, because it's such a tight game, you have so few resources. It seems to me you can only afford to play 3 of the 4 top ones. And they need to be the right ones so that you can play at least 2, right? So if you have to play all 4 of those, you might not have a good chance. So there's a lot of strategy to mitigate the randomness of the draws that you're going to get. Fun versus boring. Man, this game is intense. Just like any co-op with limited information and limited communication. Think Grizzled, Hanabi. To me, this is one of the more intense ones. But, so it's just tension. But it is fun when you have that luck of the draw, when you get the planet out, and you think, yes, I just gotta get the right elements, but we don't have any more pinks left, so we lose the game. But I think it's fun.
This is a fun game. It's not one I pull off the shelf that often, though. And I think we typically play this with our friend group that really likes Hanabi and the Grizzled. So it has its niche. Despite it being fun, I think in part the reason I wouldn't pull it out so much is because of how complex the teaching is. And maybe that's the barrier to fun here. It's certainly not a boring game.
Right? And so, I don't know. Maybe that's why it's complex. I can't say we need to play this and you need to play this.
I just think there's a lot going on in terms of which cards need to be played in which order. And if you mess that up, the card is a dud. And that's it.
Right.
But it is fun. On the Board Game Geek rating system, I would give it a 6 out of 10.
I would give it a 7. Kreus, we've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.